He didn't fight with bribes, he fought with integrity. He didn't serve foreign masters, he served his people. This is the story of Thomas Sankara, the man who renamed a country and dared it to stand tall. He was born in 1949 in Yako, Upper Volta, what we now call Burkina Faso, the third of 10 children. His father was a World War II veteran, once a prisoner of war under the French. His mother held the family together with grit and faith. From childhood, Thomas Sankara saw the cost of colonialism, a land where African children memorized French history, but not their own, where the local elite mimicked their colonizers, suits, titles, allegiance. Sankara refused to bow. Even as a boy, he loved books, Marx, Lenin, Fanon. He also loved music, he played the guitar and read poetry. But above all, he loved his country. So he joined the military not for power but for purpose. He trained in Madagascar and witnessed uprisings against neocolonial regimes. There, he saw students rise. He saw the poor resist. He learned that revolutions didn't need permission, just courage. By the early 1980s, Upper Volta was on its knees. Corruption, poverty, hunger, a government loyal to France. A nation rich in gold, cotton, and people, but exploited, bought, and sold. Sankara climbed the ranks quickly. He became prime minister. But his ideas, too radical for the ruling elite, got him arrested. The people took to the streets, demanding his release. And when he walked free, he didn't just return. He rose. August 4, 1983. At just 33 years old, he led a bloodless coup. Not to seize power but to return it to the people. He declared the birth of a new nation. Burkina Faso, the land of upright people. No more colonial names. No more colonial games. Then came the revolution. Not of guns but of mindsets. He sold the government's fleet of Mercedes. He banned first-class flights for officials. He slashed his own salary to $450 a month. He lived in a small brick house. Drove a humble Renault 5, the cheapest car in the country. No bodyguards. No golden palaces. No Swiss bank accounts. Instead, Sankara planted trees, built schools, launched vaccination campaigns. He built over 350 community dispensaries, vaccinated 2.5 million children against polio, measles, and meningitis in weeks, fought desertification with reforestation, taught villagers to build their own homes with local materials. He empowered women like no leader before him. He outlawed forced marriage, polygamy, and female genital mutilation. He appointed women to leadership, encouraged girls to stay in school and work. He told men, "The revolution cannot triumph without the emancipation of women." To the West, he was a problem. He rejected foreign aid, calling it a tool of control. He refused IMF loans. He pushed self-reliance, saying, "He who feeds you, controls you." At the OAU summit in Addis Ababa, he stood before African leaders and said, "We must refuse to pay colonial debt. We did not sign those contracts with our blood." They clapped nervously, but no one followed him, because Sankara was alone in his courage, and that courage made him a target. On October 15, 1987, just 4 years into his presidency, he was assassinated by men he once trusted. His former comrade Blaise Compaoré took power. The revolution was cut down, but the roots remained. For years, his name was silenced. His memory erased from textbooks, banned from broadcasts. But the people never forgot. They painted murals. They whispered his quotes. They named their children Thomas. They marched with his face on their shirts. And in 2014, when Blaise Compaoré tried to cling to power, it was Sankara's ghost that brought the people to the streets. They toppled the dictator and raised Sankara's name once again. He once said, "You cannot carry out fundamental change without a certain amount of madness." Maybe he was mad. Mad enough to live simply. Mad enough to speak truth to presidents, bankers, and kings. Mad enough to love his people more than his life. But he was also wise and prophetic, because today, across Africa, his words echo louder than ever. This is not just the story of a president. It's the story of a servant, a builder, a visionary, a martyr, Thomas Sankara didn't just lead a country, he lit a fire. And that fire still burns. In every youth that refuses corruption. In every woman that walks free. In every African who says, "We are enough." The revolution lives. Because Sankara lives. Heroes may fall, but their dreams never die. If you find this video interesting, hit like, subscribe and share to someone who believes in fighting for what's right. Which revolutionary figure should we cover next? Drop it in the comment. Until next time, stay curious and stay courageous.